I love both of them. It's hard to choose. I consume both. Also both. I do both. Morning jog, because I do actually do morning jogs, but I also like brainstorming, and I don't mind doing it.
So both these.
Okay. Also both, because I have to do both. So I always wanted to help people. When I was a kid, I said I want to do something that's going to help people, but I didn't want to be a doctor. Not that kind of help people. I don't want to touch blood and stuff. So I was like, how else can I help people? And I've always been interested in more empowerment and personal development and improving yourself. And even now I do that for myself all the time. It's like you never reach a point where you're like, okay, I'm fine. There's always more you can do. There's always more you can learn. So I wanted to do that, but I didn't quite know like what kind of way to do it. So I was working in journalism and communication and marketing and things like that. And then I got an opportunity to work at a nonprofit organization. And while I was there as the marketing manager, I discovered that my real passion lies with developing youth, young people. So I started out with a youth dialogue that I had to run while I was there. And then we had a dialogue for kids from all different backgrounds coming together and talking about how they would fix the country, make it better. And that was a while ago. It was 2008 that we did that. And they came up with beautiful ideas, and it was so inspirational, and they were so fired up, and they were like, wow, we've been given a platform to actually say what we think, and people are taking us seriously. This is great. But then they went home and nothing happened. So I went to my boss at the time and I said, can I change this from a talk shop into an action program? Because I don't see any point in just talking. We can give them tools and help them to do something right now. Why must they wait for adults to fix their problems? And he said, fine, go for it. So I did. And that's how the Youth Citizens Action Program started. So it was just an idea, and it became a program where we said, okay, we're going to provide a toolkit that provides a 10-step guide on how to start a project. So it shows you how to set it up, how to research what problems there are, how to brainstorm solutions, how to fundraise, how to budget, and then how to actually put this whole action plan into reality and then prove the impact that was made and show how sustainable it is. And then all of that gets put together in a portfolio of evidence. So the first challenge is that I was obviously not, someone who was planning on starting a business or anything. It was just something that happened. So I didn't have all of the skills and knowledge to do it. So I had to find mentors in areas that I was weaker. I had to find partners. I had to find, all the legal and the financial and the governance things that I had to do and make sure that I did them properly. So that was a big learning curve. And then from there, the funding. So, during COVID, we lost 2 of our major donors. For different reasons, but it was not our fault, and we had to now continue even without that funding. So it's been quite an uphill battle to get other funders to come in, but we're actually getting better now. Things are slowly settling down for us because we've realized that you can't knock on the same doors and not get anywhere and keep on knocking. You have to find other doors to knock on. So we're now looking at more trusts and foundations, because they fit our purpose more. We're not a tick box organization. We're not like a maths and science program. You can say, oh, they were failing maths, now they're passing maths, great, let's give you the funding, we've got easy reports. We're not that kind of organization. Proving personal development and proving community development is very difficult. It's more qualitative, it's not so quantitative. So we had to reformat how we do things in the fundraising, and I think it's definitely a much better direction that we're going in now. So I think the main thing that's one of my supporting members said to me, actually one of the national managers of the team said to me the other day, she said, I don't see this as a program, I don't see it as an organization only, I see it as a movement. It's a movement to create change, it's a movement to empower the next generation, to help kids to realize that they have the power to make change and to see that they have the potential to go above and beyond the circumstances they find themselves in. Because our program is mainly in rural areas and townships. So we want to expose people to bigger and broader horizons and say that you don't have to continue where you are. You can actually move up the ladder, but keep the positive values. And that's what we always say, like, you don't think now, you're doing well and you're just going to be happy in your mansion with your fancy car. That's not going to make you happy. What's going to make you happy is making a difference and helping others along the way. So the values is very key to us, the service mentality, not just about me and myself and all of that, but giving back and making sure that you help others along the way. So when I mentioned my mother is an entrepreneur, one of her other businesses is she does like massage and like psychological things. It's called resonance repatterning. It's like things to help improve yourself. So I grew up with that and it helped me a lot. So like when I was younger, like in primary school, I had a lot of challenges. I was very bad at maths. extremely bad. I didn't understand what was going on. I had some spatial issues. I had to go for OT and all of those kinds of things. So in primary school, I really did not have a good time. And I realized what it's like to suffer as a young kid and to feel like you're stupid. But I knew I wasn't stupid, but I didn't know what to do about it. And then as I grew up and I did those programs with my mother, and we found the healing modalities, which is like what you can do to help yourself. And I got out of it, I started learning guitar when I was 10, that helped a lot. And then I also did Kung Fu. And that actually came out of one of those sessions of repatterning where it said, what do you need to do to improve yourself and get your brain to work better, the two hemispheres of your brain to connect better, and for you to move forward in your life. And those two things, well, the guitar already was doing, but the Kung Fu came up, and that actually changed my trajectory, because from that I felt that personal power, because when you're doing a martial art, you have to be disciplined, you have to be brave, because it's quite scary, someone's trying to throw you, So you have to be brave, you have to overcome fears, you have to do things that are tough, you have to be fit, you have to be very goal oriented and stick to that. So I think that is what pushed me to want to do something to help others, because I realized that those things had helped me, and I wanted to find ways to help other people to develop themselves as well. I had an event last week in one of the districts in Gauteng, and I was watching the presentation, and then afterwards I got a message from one of my old colleagues from that first NGO that I was working at, and he said, I didn't know if you know, but my daughter was one of the presenters today. She was doing the program, and she's grown and developed so much by being part of the program, and I just want to say thank you. So it's that kind of full circle moment from, something that I didn't even know it was his daughter. I was just like, there's a girl here in the school and she's presenting. And then to get that feedback from her father, it shows that it's doing what it's supposed to do. The people who take it on and the people who do it properly are the ones who benefit. They are obviously not all like that. You get some teachers who are lazy. They just want to do their job and then go home and that's it. Those teachers will not do well, and they won't get the kids to do well because they're not putting in extra effort. The kids who care for their students and want them to succeed and are willing to put in extra time, those are the ones who benefit themselves as well as the learners. They both learn and they grow at the same time. I've had some schools who've been part of it for 15 years, and every year they do a new project with new kids, and they grow and develop, and everything improves in their school and community, and all the other kids in other schools now want to come to their school because they want to be part of YCAP. They've seen what it's done for the community. So there's the community side and the personal side, and both of them are important. And when I see the success and I see the impact, then I know that it's definitely worthwhile. So the first one is project management skills. Okay. So how to run a project from beginning to end and be organized and be detailed and do planning, and then do reflection on the planning to see if it actually worked. So there's all of those steps in the toolkit, as well as communication skills, which includes conflict management, because that's going to happen. They have to work in teams. So team management as well. Like in our toolkit, it says one of the parts is you have to put together a table that says what's going to be done, who's going to do it, what's needed, and by when. And if they use that format for every meeting that they have, then the accountability and responsibility is easy. Because it can't be, oh no, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I think it was the other girl. Like, no, your name is here. Like, how can you deny it? It's here. Like, there's evidence now, there's proof. And people can't go against their word. And if there is a problem, there's a way to solve it. You can say, have you done it? They say, no. You're like, okay, well, let's think of something else to do as a plan B, so our project is still on track. So it actually is being used a lot for team management in other projects, and that's why most of the kids who do well in YCAP do well in all the other projects as well. So firstly, you have to fill your own cup before you can help anyone else, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. So my pouring from the full cup comes from my music. So music has always been a big part of my life. As I said, I learned guitar from the age of 10 and singing, and I got into more like classical singing as well. And so I do guitar lessons part-time. I teach kids guitar as well as doing performances. Like I've got a show in Sandton on the 7th of November where I'm performing my first solo show just for an hour, just me singing, and I've got an accompanist playing the piano, and it's going to be really awesome to just go to the next level and challenge myself more with that. So that keeps me busy. But it also fills my cup, because if I just do one thing, like I'm just in the NGO world, then it gets too much. I need a break from it. I need to use another talent and part of myself to have a balance in my life. So I do that. And then regarding family, you have to have a very strong support system if you're going to be a working mother. So luckily I do have family around who can help with my daughter. She's only 4 years old, so there's quite a lot of stuff to do with 4-year-olds, but we managed to find a way where if I'm very busy in a day, I can send her to my sister, I can send her to my dad and my stepmom. There's people that are willing to help and support in that situation. But obviously I do my best to spend as much time with her as I can and have quality time. But I think that her seeing a working mother is a very good example for her. And for her seeing me come back from running a race and having a medal and showing that I actually went and I did it. I got up at 4:30 in the morning and I went to do this thing. It's showing her commitment and dedication and perseverance and how it's very important in life. So I don't think that it's, you have to be with a child every single day, all day, in order to impart the values and the knowledge and build a very strong relationship. So I love musical theatre, that's my first love, and then classical music as well, but I also love like folk music, pop music, some rock. It's quite varied. I just don't like very repetitive music that doesn't really have any lyrics, like that kind of house music. I suppose if you're dancing it's fine, but I wouldn't just listen to it. Yeah, so I like hiking.
Okay.
We actually hiked the Together Falls last year, which was really cool. So that was a big experience. Also, anything outdoors. I just love being outdoors. Photography is part of that. So when I take photos, my favorite thing to take photos of is the landscapes, the nature, beauty, game farms, seeing animals in the game reserve. Even farm animals are very interesting to me. People laugh at me, they're like, why do you care about farm animals? I just love all animals. I don't care where they live, I just love them all. I've got 2 giant cats as well, so they also keep me very busy. So I think what makes me a winning woman is that I never give up. I don't believe that there's ever a day that you should just say, oh well, can't do this, that's it. And also I believe that if you really want to do something, you can do it. You just have to put your mind to it and you can achieve whatever you want. So in the next 5 to 10 years, as I said, I'd love to take the organization international. It's something that is a long-term plan. It's not an easy thing, but I am working on it in the background and I see a future in that regard, as well as, just also finding new ways to add to the program, having other programs under the banner of Empowervate that can be more personal development, more wellness and things like that. Because I'm very into meditation as well. So I'd like to impart that kind of knowledge, which I have already started at events. We bring in people to talk about mindfulness and reframing and perspectives and things like that. So I think that those areas are ones I want to explore more.